Hello, everybody. I'm Jaret Reddick. And this is a podcast. Jaret Goes to the Movies. Hopefully you have seen or heard one of my many musical endeavors. And if you have, then you know how much I love movies. This is movie commentary with no movie knowledge. This podcast is me and my friend Rich talking about movies that we like. But my name's on it because I'm famous. This is Jaret Goes to the Movies. Still. Okay, we're starting now.
There is one all-time greatest moment in the history of sports, and it happened in the 1932 World Series. The story goes that in the bottom of the ninth inning, with 2 outs, a full count, and the tying run on base, Babe Ruth raised his arm and pointed to the center field bleachers. No one believed it, because nobody had ever done it before, but the Babe was calling his shot. On the next pitch, the great Bambino hit a towering 400-foot home run. And even although he'd been a hero before that, that's pretty much how he became a legend. 30 years later, a kid named Benjamin Franklin Rodriguez became a neighborhood legend. It was in the greatest summer of my life when he taught me how to play baseball, and he became my best friend. And he got me out of the biggest pickle I'd ever be in.
Hey everybody, it's me, Jaret, and this is Jaret Goes to the Movies, and with me, as always, is Rich.
Hello.
Casey is back. That's exciting.
Hello.
I
was here the last one.
She was here.
Oh, you were here the last one. I don't know. I get confused. All I know is that Rich constantly talks about the ones that you aren't on when we talk.
How could you not?
So he just they're way better
I missed
when
her.
Casey is there.
Everyone misses her.
We have a special edition today. We're going to try to keep the language pretty clean, and we're going to welcome my children, two of my children, Jack and Emma, to the podcast.
AKA Sassafras.
Go ahead and introduce yourselves, guys.
Oh, yeah, my name comes first. Thank you very much.
That's Jack.
Jack is 9. He'll be 10 in just a few weeks, and Emma just turned 13.
And I'll be 14 in a year.
How is it being a teenager so far?
I don't feel any different.
No?
Except my love for elephants has gone gianter.
Oh, wow. Interesting.
Is that a word?
Funny thing about this movie that we're doing today, we're going to be talking about The Sandlot. And these kids in the movie are the same age as Jack going into this summer. So, no, they're a year older than you. They're in the 5th grade. This is the 5th grade summer.
Even the main kid, the good baseball player, was this Rodriguez?
He looks like he's about 25
He's like 25 years old.
Yeah, exactly. I thought the same thing. Just like he's just that.
He's also pretty cute.
Is he?
Yeah, he was my
Oh.
first movie crush.
He's pretty cute.
Oh, adorbs. How do you feel like he turned out with the mustache at the end?
Yeah.
In real life, he plays like a still hot firefighter on some TV show. Right
Oh,
now, so
really?
he's doing all right.
I
still.
get it. Yeah, he's got those eyes. Those you know what I'm talking about? Like the people that have.
Are they just dreamy, Jaret?
They're so dreamy. You could just get lost in them for days.
Rich, I've never heard you laugh before.
What?
So to begin with, we talked for a bit about what movie to do. The kids are here, and we're having to do a few extra podcasts a week because I'm going to be on tour, and we haven't done one yet while I'm traveling, especially in another country. So this is a Sunday morning when we're actually recording this one. And
Actually, it's the afternoon.
it is the afternoon now, isn't it?
It's 1 o'clock.
Thank you for the correction. Gosh, you're so smart.
It's actually 12:59, but
Oh my gosh,
I won't
you're
brag
so
about that.
smart.
I know.
Emma didn't want to do this movie. How come you didn't want to do this movie?
Because of the fair scene whenever he throws up.
Yeah, you know what I didn't realize is that all of them throw up.
Do they really?
It's a complete and total
and all I
barfarama.
remember is that they're blue. That it's blue.
No,
Did you
that's
hide
It's
your
like
eyes?
yellow orange.
you're thinking about the movie Stand By Me where he throws up the blueberry pie.
Oh, well, I know that they throw up in this movie. I've seen it before, and it was very disgusting, so I had
Did you
to
not
walk
watch
out
it?
of the room.
She
not
did.
watch
She just didn't watch that part.
Oh, okay.
And why didn't you want to watch the throw up scene? What happened?
I have an extreme phobia, you could say, of throw up.
Uh-huh.
And everyone gets annoyed with it once
Well, hang on. I totally
blue
understand
moon.
if someone's throwing up in front of you.
Yeah.
No,
'cause
it's
that's,
everything.
That's how I do. I mean, if someone's throwing up and gagging, I'm throwing up and gagging.
So she can't. Here's the thing: if she calls and she's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I just went to pick up your brother, Everett or Jack. He's not feeling well." The first question is he throwing up? And if he is, she doesn't want to come home.
Right.
She doesn't want anything to
No,
do
no,
with
no, no,
it.
no. If someone's sick in the house, I will literally go in my room. Well, I do that anyway. And I would, I literally don't want to touch them. I don't want to see them
Right.
until I know that they're never going to throw up until the next,
Yeah.
Yeah.
You and I should hang out more. That's I'm the
know.
same.
Jack, do you sort of like the neighborhood boys aspect of the whole thing, like them just kind of going around on their bikes and
Yeah.
getting into adventures and stuff like
I
that?
think Jack
Yeah.
wished that he was in
But
that movie.
how did Bertram, I think was his name, at the fair, how did he get a hold of chewing tobacco?
Well, he probably.
That's a great question.
That is a great question. I'm sure he probably got it from maybe somewhere he shouldn't have.
Right.
And-
He wants to know how because he wants to get some.
No, he
He's like, how
doesn't
do we
because
do
he
that?
even told me, he goes, look, it's just like cigarettes, right? So you're not into that.
Also, who's everyone's favorite character?
Okay, we can get into that in just a minute.
Mine's the main one.
Okay, all right.
I just want
We're
to
gonna.
say that.
You're way ahead of. This is
I
my
know, but-
show, Emma.
Rodriguez.
Sorry.
The Sandlot. A new kid in town is taken under the wing of a young baseball prodigy and his team. Together, they get themselves into many adventures involving rival teams, lifeguards, and a vicious dog. The movie was directed by David Evans and written by David Evans and Robert Gunter. The movie stars Dennis Leary, who is not smoking cigarettes for once in his life, Darth Vader, the overacting chick from Indiana Jones, and a bunch of kid actors you'll never see again.
Never.
As long as you live.
Except for one guy who's on some firefighter
yeah,
show.
apparently he's on the firefighter show.
I never put the Indiana Jones thing together.
Yeah,
Oh, really?
just-
No.
Yeah, yeah.
She's I was a child.
Probably because that movie was terrible. But
Wait,
It was that way.
is that Rodriguez kid? Is he on Chicago Fire?
What's he on, babe?
oh, he's actually a firefighter. That was it.
In real life, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, he
Okay.
doesn't have anything on his IMDb at all.
Yeah, he's like actually went and just became a
So,
firefighter.
like I said, you'll never see them again.
Unless there's a
Unless-
fire.
Yeah, which would be a tragic.
Yeah,
way
that's
to
yeah. So
see 'em
just
again.
just
Try not
understand
to
you're
see
not
them.
going to see them.
I saw Squints on like an episode of like Criminal Minds or something one time.
Yeah,
I think that's a different guy.
No, it was the same.
Oh,
I
was it
Googled
him?
it at the time, yeah.
There's a guy that looks just like him, older. He's kind of small and he wears glasses just like that, and he squints a little bit. But it's not him. But I could have swore that
He
it
doesn't
was
wear the
him.
glasses anymore though.
Yeah, no, he looks completely different than he did when he was a kid. But there is an actor out there that looks exactly like him, and he's on all kinds of stuff. I can't remember what.
Yes,
though.
Squint is on Criminal
Or
Minds.
like Law and Order. I don't know, just a random episode.
Yeah, just the guest starring on a bunch of stuff.
So, first time I ever saw this movie, I don't remember.
I don't
think
either.
it was one of those ones where, honestly, I think it was a thing on tour, and the guys were like, "We should watch The Sandlot," and here it is.
On tour?
And,
Oh,
yeah,
'cause it
and
was
I,
93, right?
yeah, and I definitely didn't see it at the
I thought
theaters.
this was an 80s movie.
And it sort of watches like that, doesn't it? Yeah,
yeah.
but it was 90s, but yeah,
93.
I was not into the whole watching of movies. I'm positive that I saw this for the first time with the Bowling for Soup guys.
I don't remember at all.
I was little. I love this movie. This is one of my favorite movies from the time I can remember. I mean, I remember watching it when I was 5.
So this was kind of coming on cable when you were a kid.
We had it on VHS.
Oh, you did? Okay. Yeah.
But, I mean, I don't remember if it was on cable or not, but we watched it all the time.
Yeah, this is a good one. And Emma, do you have any idea when the first time you saw this was? Or
I
who
think it
you
might
were-
have been with Mommy or Annie
Uh-huh.
because that's Annie's favorite movie.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
So
yeah.
I probably watched it with her.
Yeah, Jack, you probably watched it at the same time, huh?
Nope.
Nope, wasn't there for that.
I don't even know where
I was
watched
bouncing
it.
off the walls at that time.
That's fine.
So were you curious as to if I like this movie or not?
I mean, I'll tell you this. I do like it. Again, it's one of those things where, and I feel like I've said this 1,000 times. It just is. This is kind of like what summers were like in my neighborhood in Wichita Falls. Like
Sure.
we met at 8:00 in the morning. I've said this before. We went home at dark, and
Yep.
pretty much whatever we were into that summer, that's what we did every day. Sans a couple of days that we went to the pool or someone was on vacation or something like that.
Are we
And-
counting E.T. as a kid's movie? Is that
No,
that
I
sort
don't
of a
think-
young adult, all ages kind of movie?
What do you mean?
Well, I'm just wondering. I think this is the best kids movie so far. Unless we're counting E.T., then obviously that would be the best one. But
I don't
I
really-
really enjoyed the movie.
I don't really even know if I count this as a kids movie. I
Really?
think
Is it
it's
kind of like a coming of age thing?
Sure.
Like a,
Why isn't this a kids movie?
because I think adults like it just as much because it's reflective, you know.
Well, I'm
and-
also counting the Goonies and the Christmas Story as a kids movie too. So
right. Yeah.
out of these 4, E.T. is obviously the best. This one is a good second. I'm a solid second to
Yeah.
me. And then Goonies and then the Christmas Story
I
is
like the
way at
Sandlot
the
better
bottom.
than E.T.
See,
Really?
I would say I think ET's better, but I think it's just because it's so much. It's just a bigger thing, you know. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I really, really like this one, but I don't even know if I put it in the same category. But I don't know that I classify this as a kids movie. Like, to me, kids movies are Shrek.
But y'all also watched E.T. when you were young.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
I watched this whenever I watched this movie before I ever saw E.T. Guaranteed.
Right. Yeah. So this was a growing up movie for you. Mm-hmm. E.T. was more of a growing up movie for us. Yeah, I get that. I mean, I was 21 when this came out.
The narration was still bad. It's way better than A Christmas Story, but why did they get that guy to narrate? His voice is so boring. It was so boring, his narration.
I thought it was perfect.
It was just nothing to it. We know how to narrate now. It's like you get Morgan Freeman, you get, you know what I mean? You get somebody with some vocal gravitas.
Yeah, they had him in the movie.
Yeah.
His name's James Earl Jones.
I know, but
there.
I'm just saying they should have had him narrate the movie. That was the missing piece.
Jones.
I think the whole point is to make him normal, just like a normal dude.
Yeah, that grow up to be normal guys.
And that turned out to be a terrible choice.
We can't all be Morgan Freeman as much as we'd like to.
Well, we
Right.
should be.
Yeah. Well, she's exactly right. We can't all be Morgan Freeman. That would be ridiculous.
But I really liked the movie. It was a good, solid family movie that I was like,
yeah, definitely. Just a couple of curse
I even
words.
cried at the end.
Did you?
Yeah.
Nice.
Rich, you cried?
You sports cried.
You cried.
No, I didn't sports cry.
That's a sports cry. If you
No.
cried at the thumbs up at the end, that's a sports cry.
No, it was the lifting up the gate on the dog.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I get that.
Yeah,
Sure.
that's when I cried.
Rich,
I got a
you
little
cried.
weepy on the thumbs up at the end, though.
You cried about
She's
the
surprised
dog?
you
What's
have
wrong?
emotions.
You were
You have a
tight.
dad that cries at the drop of a hat. I
She's
can't cry
been
a little
shocked
bit?
both that you
That's true.
laughed and that you cried.
I know. I'm a human. I am not a robot. What a revelation.
What happened the other day? I told you that a guy from my hometown passed away, and we were sitting at the table, and I was just like, "Oh no, such and such passed away." I'm not going to put it on here. And Jack is behind me and just slowly comes around my head just to see if the tears are rolling. And I just looked. No, I'm not going to cry on this one, buddy. Not going to cry here.
Wait, which one did you cry on?
I cry all the time. I'm a crier. I'm a crier for way back. You know that.
No.
She doesn't.
I mean, like, I don't know.
Which movie? Or what are you asking?
Oh, did you
What's the
not
question?
prep her for your persona of the crier? For the
Oh, but
public
yeah, me being the
crying
crier. So I
persona?
don't really have to fake that on here. That's pretty much common
Yeah,
knowledge.
that's pretty.
All right, so the opening scene.
What was the opening scene? Because I kind of forgot. Was it whenever he was waving?
No,
When he
he
moved in?
was. Yeah,
With
they
the-
were moving in.
Yeah.
Well, he's coming into his job. We don't know that this is gonna be the kid until the end.
To be honest, I feel like that could have all been deleted. You know what I mean? Like that.
Right.
You could have just started with the moving truck.
It was a nice
and him
little-
telling the story.
True,
And it
but
would have
was
been
a nice
fine.
little thing that this
'Cause-
guy is the guy at the end, and he's telling the story, and then there's Benny,
Yeah.
with the thumbs up. I thought it was a nice little.
Not even in my memory of seeing that before today. Seriously, I just feel like that was a throwaway.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
the impactful first scene is that little bitty U-Haul trailer.
Oh,
What
yeah.
could they possibly have fit in that thing?
Yeah,
To move into that thing? They
Well,
couldn't have got a stereo in there back then.
yeah, but we did that too. We moved a lot, so you probably never moved especially not like I did. I moved every 3
we
years.
moved once and then moved back after 3 months. That was it.
So we'd have the giant movers move us, but then we'd always have
Actual giants.
Yeah.
Emma
Game of
loves
Thrones.
the Giants.
Do you like the Giants?
I love the Giants. That's my
Excellent.
team.
What made you pick that team?
Well, I decided I needed a football team because everyone else likes football, but I
Dad.
don't.
Right.
And so I decided. Well, the first one that came to my head was the Giants, so I thought
weren't-
I'd go with my gut feeling.
You weren't looking
without
in the
thinking.
You weren't looking in the mirror at the time because you're wearing a Dallas Cowboys jersey.
Yeah. You're aware that they are not in the playoffs.
Okay,
right?
well, I don't have a Giant shirt, so I thought I'd go with my
We'll fix that.
stepmom's team, the Cowboys.
Yeah, she's a sweet girl.
She is.
Jack, do you have a question?
I'm really nice.
No,
Just
I
you
have a
didn't know.
statement. My favorite part of the first scene was when he that metal roller coaster thing. He launches the marble and it hits Mom in the forehead, but,
Oh.
but
Oh,
it
yeah.
doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt at all.
Right.
I know she just goes back to being okay.
Well, I mean, it sort of
acting.
just launched it into the air. It wasn't like out of a slingshot. You know, the thing, it went straight up and then popped her in the head.
Yeah, but that
Which
would still
actually
hurt.
is completely goes against all physical.
I got mad on the phone whenever I was like 15, and I threw my phone
At the door.
and put my blanket over my head, and at the same time, my mom walked in my room, and
Oh,
I just nailed
no.
her with it. I was like, Like, I knew I was not allowed to be mad anymore. I was in big trouble.
Yeah,
my
that's pretty
gosh.
much.
She like hobbled out of there trying not to just be filled with rage.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. Did she? Oh, she was limping because you hit her in the face with a phone.
No, I hit her and hit her in the face. I hit her in the leg.
In the leg.
Oh, in the
Okay.
leg.
I was gonna say because that sounds like an injury that might happen around this
No,
house.
she hit a bruise like this big. It was
Oh man,
bad.
that sucks.
It was a big phone then.
See, I wouldn't throw my
Right.
phone because I'm too attached
kind
to
of
It
it.
phone?
wasn't a
was
cell
it?
phone. It was like, they could fall apart. You put it back together. It was fine.
My real dad died when I was just a little kid. My mom had married Bill about a year before we moved to the valley. At the time, he and I were still getting used to each other.
Dad? I mean, Bill. Remember you promised you'd teach me to play catch?
Mm-hmm.
Well, could you teach me?
Sure.
Okay,
Okay.
thanks.
Okay, see you later. It's pretty, the thing is that you have to put all of the interactions with him and the interactions between Dennis Leary and over actress lady is so stereotypical 50s.
Yeah,
Whereas, he's the man of the house. Go in, ask him.
My favorite-
Whereas this day and age, the mom would just be in there, get outside and play catch with this kid right now.
Right. Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So,
because I guess.
I don't like Bill.
Yeah, I don't really like him that much either.
I think
I feel
that,
bad for the kid that he has to be there. Like, he's just so rude to him.
well, I don't think that he's rude as much as he is just a man in the 50s. That's what men did. They went to work, they came home, they ate
don't
their
wanna be
dinner,
bothered with the
they went
kids
into
stuff.
their room, watched TV, whatever they wanted to watch. That
You
was
couldn't
the
say
thing.
just
And
hide your
I think
kid.
he's newly married to this lady, and he's never had children before.
Right,
So he's
yeah.
getting used
So I
to
don't
that
think he
as
knows
well.
like how to interact.
But as a person that had stepkids, if Layla ever attempted to connect with me in any way,
Yeah.
I'd have been okay. Let's do it.
But
But
again,
you were a dad first, though, too.
That's true. That's
yeah,
true.
but again, this is just a different time. If that would have been his own kid, the reaction would have been the same. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, it's very like the Wonder Years type of like. That
yeah,
vibe.
it's that kind of thing where I grew up in the 70s, 80s. I was born in the 70s, but that age years was in the 80s, and it really was. I mean, like, I remember when a kid's dad would come out and like if we were shooting baskets and a kid's dad would come out and start shooting, I just thought, okay, I guess I should go. I guess this is his time,
Right.
So I'd just leave. I didn't really understand that whole thing.
Yeah.
And now it's just completely different because dads are out and doing the things and
Right.
and all the stuff.
I'd followed them to the Sandlot once after school. I'd never seen any place like it. It was like their own little baseball kingdom or something. It was the greatest place I'd ever seen anyway. But they were good. Real good. And all I had was a plastic toy mitt that my grandmother gave me for my birthday when I was 6. But when I finally got up enough guts to go out there and try and make friends, I found out that they never kept score. They never chose sides. They never even really stopped playing the game. It just went on forever.
Not really typical of my childhood. We actually always had teams, always played games. It was ultra competitive all the time.
And you kept scoring everything?
Oh yeah, and it was. I mean, every day it ended with some sort of argument. Every single day.
Because there's no referee.
No, you're all the referee. So like and we just make stuff up. But yeah, I mean it's the whole when you're playing two below and you're like, no, that hand was above my waist. And
I remember having that mitt though. That was a horrible.
The
plastic
one?
mitt.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, it's terrible.
See, I had the older brother, so I got the hand-me-down stuff. So I very seldom got that kind of thing.
Yeah. I mean, I
But
had
the
to get
hand-me-down
ones
mitt's
later.
a good one because it's broken in.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. So I always got the hand-me-down. So he's 5 years ahead of me. So by the time I got a mitt, it was an actual mitt. By the time I got a football helmet, it was an actual football helmet because
Yeah.
he's growing and getting into those things.
Right.
So I never really had it, but I do remember the kids that did have those the plastic football helmet
had a
and the
good
plastic mitt.
Dennis came in though. I played baseball whenever he met me, and he's like, "This is all wrong." So
Right.
he oiled it, put the ball inside,
Oh,
wrapped
sure.
it up. did the
Yeah.
whole
Did
thing.
you play baseball?
Yeah, I played all sports. We didn't have hockey, so baseball, soccer, basketball, football.
Did you rotate with the seasons or
Yeah, so back then it wasn't like Jack's deal is hard because it's with kids these days he has to pick because
'cause they do
they're
all round.
multiple seasons. I mean soccer is literally year round. Basketball's 2 seasons as it always was. Football is 2. When I was a kid, you had 1 basketball season, 1 football season, 1 baseball season, and 2 soccer seasons.
So Jack, soccer's your favorite?
All right, so
No.
let's talk about how he's really good at soccer, and he's playing indoor soccer right now. In fact, last game he scored 3 goals, and it was amazing.
3 out of 5.
3 out of 5 goals for the team. He scored the first goal and the last goal, and then one in the middle.
So what's your favorite sport?
Football.
Oh, good. The least safe sport.
Yeah,
Excellent.
so he hasn't played with pads yet. He'd like to do that, but he's playing basketball right now,
I'm
too.
doing it in the fall.
Yeah, it's possible he's going to play football with pads in the fall. He's playing basketball right now, and he's doing karate.
In the water or just regular karate?
He doesn't. I don't think I've taught him a little bit of water karate, but he's not quite on my level yet.
Also, Dad's pretty handy with nunchucks.
I'm pretty good with nunchucks. That's true.
Yeah,
I'm better.
Yeah.
He's obviously better than me at nunchucks, but that's okay. I mean, that's part of being a dad is watching your son thrive in areas.
So in high school, that's really the only time I did scrimmages that lasted forever. We did soccer scrimmages, and it wasn't a set number of people. It was like whoever showed up. If there was 30, 40 guys, there'd be 20 on one team, 20 on the other, and we would just play soccer. We'd never keep score, and we would just go. It's
just all about brushing up on your drills and all that.
Yeah, it was just having fun. It was just constantly just playing and playing and playing and playing and playing.
See, when I was in high school, I didn't play sports. I did dance.
There's another movie
good.
about that we'll do.
Fame! I want to live forever.
My brother got arrested at one of those scrimmages, actually. And he was 5 or 6. He got arrested for driving without a license.
Oh.
When he was 5 or 6?
I took him to the scrimmage, and he came with me, and my best friend at the time, Chris Poe, was waiting on me. I was talking to a girl, of course. And so I was talking to the girl I was dating or trying to date. And so they were both sitting in the car, and so he had started the car, and he got Chris, my brother, on his lap, and he let him drive around the subdivision in the car. So he was just doing the pedal and the brake, and then my brother was driving, and then the cops pulled up behind him, arrested them both, took him to jail, called my parents.
Took your 5-year-old brother away to jail.
Yes.
That's crazy. To me, it would seem like the other kid would have gotten.
It was on the army base. It wasn't like
okay. So
it was.
I was gonna say because it like child endangerment or something, and then what's the charge on a?
They just had to come
kid?
pick him up and stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
He didn't use the Britney Spears defense. Britney Spears got pulled over for letting her kid drive, and she just goes, "I don't know the difference. I'm country." That's a true story.
I don't want you sitting around in here all summer fiddling with this stuff like you did last summer and the one before. I know you're smart and I'm proud of you. I want you to get out into the fresh air and make some friends. Run around, scrape your knees, get dirty. Climb trees, hop fences, get into trouble, for crying out loud. Not too much, but some. You have my permission. How many mothers do you know who say something like that to their sons?
I love that scene.
Yeah, that's a good one, and it's appropriate for that. I realize you're the new kid. Get out there and just stir stuff up.
I really connect with that mother that has a kid that's a super introvert. I wasn't. I ran around just like you did. I was exactly the same way when I was a kid, but. My stepdaughter, she just wanted to be in her room all the time, and I didn't really have the say so at the time. I didn't take the reins as much as I probably would have liked to, but I just wanted to go get out there, just go knock on doors, be a kid.
It's different for a girl though.
Yeah, it is
because it's funny
but she's a tomboy kind of.
None of the girls in this neighborhood are ever outside. I mean, there's
that's why
every
you gotta knock
once
on
in a
doors.
while you'll see one, but I mean the boys are out all the time, and that's just one of those things. I think that's just a boy-girl thing.
Right.
Yeah, that's why I love this thing. I mean, as far as like Jack goes, I would much rather him run around and on his bike and sneaking into manholes and pretending they were a clubhouse that one time than just sitting in his room all the time.
You snuck into manholes?
It was a clubhouse. One of the moms
Yeah.
called us and
It's a sewer.
What's a
she said, "Did you
manhole?
know that their clubhouse is a manhole?" You're like,
What's a manhole?
that
Like a
explains all
sewer?
the mud.
Yes, sewer hole.
Wait,
Yeah.
no one ever told me that they called you.
Yeah, we did. And,
I thought I got away with
and
that.
the thing was too is that it's real easy to find them because you just drive around till you see their bikes or their scooter or whatever, and you know where they are. Well, that was off the beaten path, and so a couple of times we're just like, where the hell is he?
Yeah, because we're in a new development, so I was like, your clubhouse cannot be a house that is being built. Like, builders will
Right,
not like that.
exactly.
You're not allowed to go in those places.
yeah,
He's
yeah.
like, that's fine. And they
We'll
all
just do a
come
manhole.
home covered in mud. We were like, whatever.
Where is this man? In the street? Like in the middle of the street?
No, it's by the pond. It's like
Wait,
in
you
the
like
pond.
climb
So
into
it's got
it?
like-
You went in there?
Yeah, and we
Why would you do that?
And there's like a hole that leads to like the other side of the farming place, and we would climb through it.
Have you ever seen the movie It?
Jack, this is like crazy.
I can't. I mean, and the thing is that as a parent, you're like, that's crazy. But like as a kid,
as soon as I said that, I remember going on a camp out, and we were trudging through the middle of a creek, waist high, which could have been leech-filled water.
Sure.
And I'm going, okay, never mind.
Well, that's the thing. Like, they were just, clearly that's not allowed now that it's out there. But, I would rather than be out exploring than playing Minecraft for
that's where my mom says
mind-melting hours.
Exactly. And my mom says it all the time. Our meeting spot, our play place, our rendezvous point, everything was
a ditch.
Was the ditch. That's where we went. We had a huge ditch, and it was concrete. And it had tunnels on both sides, and a railroad track that went right beside it, and a forest on one side, and then tunnel under a street, and another really huge forest on the other side. It was awesome. I mean, it was the greatest playground of all time.
Right.
And again, we've talked about this before. I mean, to us, we didn't really have the dangers, so to speak, that we have out there in the world now. So our parents didn't worry as much about us. Now, we're a little bit more, hey, stay on these two streets. But still, I mean, we have a pond at the end of both at each end of our street, and new developments coming out, new streets and hills and stuff like that for them to play on. So there's plenty of stuff for them to do.
We should also mention that if you work for CPS, this is all made up. None of this is true.
I don't think I've said anything incriminating.
I'm just kidding.
Bill,
Yeah?
couldn't you take a break and teach him now?
Mom, it's okay, Bill.
Honey, I said I would and I will, but I'm under the gun here.
How long could it take? Can't you spare half an hour? Show him now.
Mom, really, it's okay.
Okay. I'll get my glove.
I really sympathize with her because she probably is a stay-at-home mom. Her husband died.
Yeah.
They fell in love and married her. And she has a kid that's not his, which is real for that time period, very unconventional.
Sure.
It's a big, I would say, quote, sacrifice on his part in that time period to take on someone else's kid, and he's supporting her. I sympathize with her timidness to sort of shove him into that role too fast. So I get that. I do get that.
Man, I mean, you bring up a great point. I mean, back then, they explain it really quick that it wasn't a divorce or anything like that. So because that was so frowned upon back then, but the whole stepchild thing was there was a stigma about it back then.
Stigma,
And nowadays not so much because everybody's got a step parent.
I like how when they're playing baseball, how you can tell that stepdad's not having fun, and he looks at his watch to see if it's been 30 minutes.
Yeah.
He's
like,
I never noticed that.
I never noticed that either.
Yeah, that's
he
funny.
He sighs and he's like,
yeah, I mean, I think when it's a fifth grade boy, you at least think that he's going to be able to throw the football. The kid hadn't been exposed to it.
Didn't know what leg to put first.
Exactly.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I knew kids like that.
Yeah, me too.
I knew kids, and it's such like,
I don't think I knew kids like that. I've never met anybody that couldn't throw a ball in fifth grade.
We had a couple of them in our neighborhood.
I'm gonna go play some ball, and we need an extra guy. You want to go?
Nah, thanks.
Why not? Don't you like baseball?
Oh yeah, but
But what?
but my glove is busted. So I can't go. Thanks though.
It's okay. I got an extra one.
That's okay. So two things here. We did that all the time. We'd need an 8th or a 10th guy to complete the football team or whatever. We'd be like, let's go get so and so. And I'm not going to mention their names because I'm Facebook friends with all of them. But and they know who they are. They'd be like, all right, we'll include such and such today. But I love this scene. I love because I like the fact that you just like any other kid would have just been like, okay, fine, you don't want to play, that's fine. But he's persistent, just like, here's this, here's get rid of that, lose. Here's a glove, lose the ridiculous hat.
I like that he just had like a utility belt full of like extra stuff.
I know, as he kept pulling it out of nowhere. He's got a hat, he's got a glove.
Yeah,
it's like just
it's
in my pants. That's where I keep it all.
Yeah, he's prepared. He's a virtuoso.
I think that was just for the movie, but okay.
You think so?
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't think so. I mean, when we would go and play ball and things like that. If I had 2 gloves at the time, I would take them.
Would you hide them in
that
your
would like
pants?
slow you down. You'd be like, oh my gosh, this is hurting.
Speaking of slowing you down, one of the things that when he goes to play, I thought about this and I was going to bring it up. You know what struck me is, I wonder when that stops. Is like he's like, let's go, and they both take off running. Remember when you just used to run everywhere?
Yeah.
Just at some age, you just stop running everywhere you go.
It's a fleeting memory.
I know,
of running,
now we just
but
like
I remember.
take a car.
Nice. Yeah, nice.
We just hoverboard over now.
Yeah, well,
Hoverboard.
Jack
You
Jack
kids.
chooses a different vehicle each day. I mean, it could be anything. It could be he's got
His feet even.
a ripstick. He could run. He could ride
Bike.
one of 3 bikes that
electric scooters.
He has that. And
He has a
hoverboard.
regular scooter.
Yes.
Or the Razor.
Yeah.
Hoverboard,
I have
yeah.
a grip tight scooter.
He just got a new scooter though, and he's going to start
Training
learning
for
tricks and stuff.
or tricks, that's what I meant.
Yeah, he's going to start doing all that stuff. So we're looking forward to the emergency room.
Yeah,
and-
he's gonna start breaking his arm.
So I sucked at baseball, and here's why. So my first day at, I did fine at t-ball. That was no big deal. But on first day at fast pitch baseball, got up to the plate, and the guy threw it straight at me. I had to literally lay on the ground. I literally laid on the ground to miss the ball. Like it went straight over the top of my waist, where my waist was.
Right.
From then on, I stepped out. So I always stepped back,
Yeah, you're
behind
scared.
me on my step in leg. I was supposed to be stepping in. I always stepped out because it scared the crap out of me. So from then on, I sucked at batting. I wasn't terrible, but it wasn't. It didn't help me that I was stepping back the whole time, every single time.
It's funny. You just get the fear in you, and some of that kind of, in some of those kind of things, because it's like I'm the opposite. I got hit with a baseball right away, and I was like, that sucked. But okay, it's not that bad.
Right.
But then I got on a motorcycle and pressed the gas and didn't quite understand the braking situation and ran directly into a brick wall. And so I do have a little bit of a thing with motorcycles.
I don't like them either.
And I don't really
Did
even
it
like
hurt, Dad?
it hurt. And I don't really even like go-karts. I drove a
go-karts.
3-wheeler into a electric fence once, and I dismantled the electric fence. However, it was still plugged in, and I was tangled up in it, and it was shocking me. And I had to have physical help to get out of it. And it's literally like cattle shocking me. I mean, it hurt.
But that happens sometimes.
Yeah, right. Yeah. That
all
was
day, every day.
And that was the worst Easter of my life.
You never heard of the Sultan of SWAT?
The Titan of Terror.
The Colossus of Clout? The Colossus of Clout.
The King of Crash, man.
So, I lied.
Oh, yeah, the Great Bambino. Of course. I thought you said the Great Bambi. That wimpy deer? Yeah, I guess. Sorry.
So let's actually talk characters now, because Emma had brought up, let's pick our favorite character and all of that. So there's a couple things I want to say. The yeah thing is ridiculous. It's so forced and silly.
Oh, I loved it though when I was little.
I think when I first saw it, I don't think it rubbed me quite as wrong, because I guess what it is almost like a tick. It's like a stutter kind of thing.
Okay, Dad.
Yeah. Yes.
I like the cute one.
Okay, you like okay. But I think the thing that I love is the 2 brothers.
Oh my God,
Timmy and Tommy Timmons.
Timmy, and I love the whole repeat everything he says. And
Yeah.
one time where he's just like, "Shut up, Timmy."
I
So good.
love that. I think that Timmy Timmons might be my favorite character for no reason. He's not the little one. He's the older one.
Well, it's funny because he doesn't really say a lot through the movie. When he does, it's kind of like just joining into the gang until the day the vacuum cleaners.
We've been going about this all wrong.
I
blame myself.
I can only blame
It's
myself.
very like Silent Bob.
Totally.
You know? I love that.
This kind of cause it's like Ferb. Just the one line in the movie makes everything kind of come together.
He walks out and just shakes himself out. I love that.
And you just wonder, oh no, what's going to happen here? Like he's going to go postal, something bad.
Do any of y'all ever get them mixed up? Like you don't know which one's which? Because I'm always there's 4 dirty blondes, and I'm like, okay, I don't know who you are.
Actually, yeah, because when he walks
Timmy
out
and
of that,
everyone.
when he walks out of the,
I thought it was the new kid.
I thought it was the new kid too.
Yeah,
same
I don't
thing.
know who it is.
Yeah, and then he shook it
every
off.
time I see it.
Hey, Jaret.
Yeah,
I like the cute one too.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good.
Oh my gosh, Rich, twinsies.
That's so funny.
Who's
She
your
goes,
least-
the dirty blondes. I didn't identify any of them
Well, I
based
don't know
on
any of
their
their
dirty
names.
blondness.
A lot of them had hats on.
Well, I think it's hard too when your introduction to them is sort of a moving camera thing and all of this, and they're all the same size and the same haircut and all that. So
Two of them say the same thing.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. But those two I really liked, and obviously the catcher being the comic relief of the whole movie is just perfect.
Come on, Benny, man. The kid is a L7 weenie. Yeah. Oscar Mayer even. Foot long. Dodger dog. A weenie.
Laughing at Yaya? You were like a duck.
That was strong acting. Just
Oh my
really
gosh.
strong kid acting.
I love when he goes, he's 2 L's and a weenie.
He says he's
I don't
an
know what he
L7
says.
weenie, which
What
I
is
used
that?
to say all the time. He's calling him a square. An L7 weenie. Like you're a square.
Oh,
you're a nerd.
L and a 7.
Right.
Oh my gosh, it's hilarious.
And I didn't realize that.
He's
He's
a
a
I didn't know what the hell he was
weenie.
talking about.
Yeah, then later he goes, the kid's a square. Because he's an
Yeah,
L7.
no, I get it now. L7. Okay,
Yeah.
got it. There's
Well,
a band
like-
called L7.
There is a band
Is
called
he basically
L7.
calling
even
him
know that.
a square weenie?
L7 weenie.
He's saying he's a square and he's a weenie.
We should see if
Like he's a nerd and he's a weenie.
Hey, Jack,
I wonder if they could make a
Yeah.
square weenie.
do you like virgin margaritas?
Oh my gosh, I'm obsessed with those. Oh my. Don't even get me started. I had those at my birthday party, my family birthday party.
laughing.
They're my favorite thing in the world.
Virgin.
Jack.
I know what that means.
Yeah, it means it doesn't have alcohol in it.
No.
We got CPS listening.
Bring a t-shirt and jeans tomorrow, okay?
Oh,
yeah.
you got a fireplace?
Yeah, why?
Throw that head in there, man.
I was surprised that the kids didn't make fun of the hat earlier on, and maybe it was something that got cut.
Oh my god,
Well,
that was the first thing I noticed. Was
That's
that
the
stupid
first
hat.
Emma
Oh.
too. Emma, that's the first thing that
I
she
was
said.
like, why is his hat so long? And Dad goes, oh my gosh, I was wondering that.
Because
same
he's
thing.
not cute with that
She
hat.
goes,
on.
is this a gardening hat?
I did say
it
that.
does look like that.
I think it's pretty weird that that Rodriguez kid told him to burn his hat.
Which clearly he didn't because he was wearing it at the end.
Was he really wearing it?
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
wearing it at the end.
The fish hat whenever
yeah.
he's...
Well, I don't think he would have burned it. He might have liked
why
that
is he
gardening.
still wearing it? I mean, he likes baseball now. No,
Well,
Not
at that
gardening.
Point, at that
Baseball
point,
player.
it's probably vintage and cool. Maybe.
Well, I just assumed that maybe it was his dad's. You know, it's the hat that was laying around. He wanted to put on some kind of a baseball hat, but there's no baseball hats laying around, and he can't touch Bill's stuff. You see what happens when he gets into Bill's items.
he gets
Obviously, he gets into a big
Shenanigans all over the place. And yet, who wants to piss off Dennis Leary?
Yeah,
You know,
nobody.
like that guy's crazy.
Why are they wearing jeans? And they're all wearing dress shirts.
because they're sliding.
Yeah, okay, I get that.
They're not wearing dress shirt. They're wearing button-up baseball shirts.
Yeah.
They
Casey
are.
got a
They
point.
look like dress shirts.
But they're wearing them like baseball shirts.
Okay.
Yeah, and I mean, it's the 50s. You did. I mean, you
It's
didn't.
100-degree heat, and they're
Yeah.
hot. That's like
You can't,
They
but
do-
you can't slide in shorts.
They do. Some of them do
it
wear
was-
shorts off and on though too.
It was
I mean, they're-
1962.
was it?
Yeah, it said that on that cake.
I don't know how you do it, man. That
ridiculous.
kid
Yeah.
is crazy.
He just
He's
stores all
nuts.
these crazy details.
Yeah.
He said it on the Founders Day cake is what he's talking
Yeah,
about.
holy crap.
That's
Oh my
Anyway,
gosh, I remember that.
I mean, some of the kids did wear shorts throughout the movie, though. I mean,
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
in the scene where they take the photo,
Yeah.
the pitcher kid has shorts on, and they're so.
I didn't see why.
I
the
always
other-
wear jeans. I get it.
But you're right. I mean, it's a Sandlot wasn't really sandy. I'm
So
sure it was really
sad.
rocky, and I'm sure sliding sucked.
Yeah, he was wearing. But when he told me, he was wearing slacks. He wasn't.
Yeah.
Right.
Although he might rip those.
With his shirt tucked in, though.
And you know who the kid who had his shirt tucked in the entire time
So funny. I'm
was
just checking his facts. He's
the
just-
catcher. The
Yeah.
the redheaded kid.
Yeah.
He
No.
had he had his shirt tucked in the entire time.
Probably-
into his shorts.
Yeah.
Oh my
everything.
gosh. One
was
of
like,
my
you're the
favorite
last
parts is when Ham is in it.
Game's over, man. Just get another ball tomorrow.
Yeah.
We'll never see it again.
Why not? The beast.
I think it's funny when when he goes back there to get the ball the first time. You see the shadow. It's obviously a Tyrannosaurus or something. It's so funny.
Yeah.
It's like that
Well,
doesn't.
it starts gigantic, as big as a dinosaur.
Yeah,
and then
it
as
looks
the
like a
movie
dinosaur,
goes, it
yeah.
gets smaller
Yeah.
and smaller and smaller to
Yeah.
the actual dog. I thought it was a great.
A couple of the times the hungry hippo thing happens and the paw comes out and grabs the baseball. It's enormous. I mean,
I
it's
know.
seriously the size of a freaking car.
Hey, you want a s'more? S'more what? No, you want a s'more. I haven't had anything yet. So how can I have some more of nothing? Shut up! You're killing me, Smalls.
That's the best
There
joke
we
in the
go.
world.
See, I didn't even know that was from that movie until
I didn't
today.
either.
You didn't know until
Not
today.
today, but when I
Me
watched
neither.
it.
I asked Dad, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, that's where it comes from."
It is where it comes from.
Jennifer, my ex, says that constantly, and I didn't really care enough to ask where that came from. I just knew it was from a movie.
Everybody says it. It's crazy.
Yeah, everyone says it.
It's nutty. So, yeah, she said, and I'm just like, yeah, it's definitely, and I did know.
But the s'mores joke is the best joke in the world.
It's
what?
It's a Back to the Future joke. It's like, I can't give you a tab unless you order something. You're Pepsi free. No, if you want a drink, you're going to have to pay for it.
I love the s'mores joke. I say that same joke, and not from this movie, but I say that same, because it's so obvious.
What I thought was genius, and I had forgotten about this scene, was the making the s'mores with candles. Freaking genius.
You didn't do that?
I've never done. No, I just assume if you don't have a campfire, you got no.
They come out.
We used to do
They come
that.
out waxy.
You can use one of those gas ovens.
Yeah.
Or just the
One
stove.
thing you can
Or
buy
the
those little,
stove,
those
that's
little
what I
things
meant.
that you, I don't know what they're called. I forget. You put them like underneath
Just
the metal
some more
things to heat
joke.
them. You know. So you can like literally just set up a bunch of those and just put little marshmallows on top of them.
Well, I thought I think candles in the clubhouse was very resourceful.
Yeah.
And
in the wooden tree house, it was a really good idea.
Very
Just
impressive.
Small children and sleeping bags and fire.
And who would have known that they that it would yeah, sleeping bags that were probably not fire grade at the time.
No.
Yeah.
In an old wooden tree house.
Everything was flammable at the
in
time.
that treehouse, you know when they try to get the tennis ball by putting that cart thingy down the metal ramp?
Yeah.
Okay, in the first scene, when I talked about that marble that went down that thing, the metal from that thing that launched the marble, that's what they used?
Yeah, he says so that's called an erector set. And it's essentially like smart kid Legos. It's really hard. You have to put each piece has to be put together with a screw and a nut. And so he says, I went and got all of my erector set pieces, and that's what they made. They made that thing out of
And by all, he means like every erector set ever sold
in the history of film.
That thing was gigantic.
Exactly. In some ways, it didn't even look like erector set. It looked like, like barbed wire fence post. You know?
It was.
Like
she said he'd been playing with that thing for 3 summers with no friends, so I guess he's had a pretty good
pretty good at it. Yeah.
How about buying some friends instead of more erector sets?
It all started about 20 years ago when thieves kept stealing junk from Myrtle's Acres junkyard. So Mr. Myrtle, the guy that used to own the place, got him this new pup from the dog pound. He fed him whole sides of beef and turned the pup loose in the junkyard. And the pup was grateful.
It's very
he was grateful.
It's very Stand By Me. It's very chopper sick balls.
But Jaret, the pup was grateful.
Yeah, I like that too. Yeah. It was grateful. And as the bones are flying out of the trailer.
Right.
Yeah. And he grew to be the size. I mean, he's the size of the trailer at that point.
How did he get out of the trailer?
That I don't know. Maybe it just
Probably like busted through the windshield.
it could have, or it could have just folded around him, and or he could have been like one of these.
like
yesterday, Casey showed me these little bunnies and little glasses, and maybe it was like that. He was just really comfy.
Wendy Peppercorn.
Oh, Wendy Peppercorn.
Yeah.
Jack, did you think Wendy Peppercorn was cute?
No.
Girls are gross?
Yeah.
Excellent.
You really think girls are gross?
Yeah, of course.
What about
they
that?
are.
What about that one girl in your class?
No, she's gross.
Yeah, all girls are gross.
All of them. I get it.
Jack was writing letters to some girl last year.
No!
But she was gross. He was just being nice.
He was like, "You're gross, and I love you."
No.
Did you guys have a public swimming pool that you went to? Us too. But the one that everybody gawked over was like the head lifeguard, and she was like a teacher.
Right.
And everybody had this thing for her.
Explains a lot.
Yeah, maybe so. Maybe it does. Maybe that does explain a lot. Her name was Phyllis.
Well, I grew up in the formidable years. I was in Germany, and they don't swim. I mean, you got to like drive to another town to get an indoor pool because it's too cold there, or go to a beach or something. They don't even swim there. So I didn't really learn to swim until I was in middle school probably, and I had to take lessons. Oh my god, it was such a whipping, especially being older.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my
I
god.
can imagine.
Yeah, because I was petrified of the water because I'd never really been around the water before.
Right.
So yeah, that was kind of. I always hated the water. I still really don't like swimming at all. really, to this day. I can swim fine, but
Yeah,
I
so
just don't like it.
you'd rather be in a pool where you can stand up than in the middle of a lake.
No, it's not. No, I just don't like the pool. It's just not my thing.
You just don't like to swim.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah,
It's not. Like
it just doesn't appeal to me.
I understand.
Yeah,
man, pools are the best.
I can swim fine. If I'm going to be in a pool, I'd rather be in the deep end. It's more fun. But I don't know. I'd rather do something else than.
We didn't even really have a lot of people with like in-ground pools in our town when I was little. Like you might have had like one kid with an above-ground pool, and you'd fit like 900 kids in there, and like, let's try to make a whirlpool. Yeah. Let's try to do it again. Like that's all you had to do.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I could do crazy dives and everything. It wasn't that. I don't know. It just wasn't my thing.
There's a Mitch Hedberg bit where he talks about above ground pools, and he goes, I saw a commercial for an above ground pool, and it was 30 seconds long, which is fitting because that's exactly the amount of time you can have fun in an above ground pool.
True.
And then he's just like, what should I do now? Throw the ball to Jimmy and look at his feet? So good.
Dude, he was the best.
Oh my God, I miss him so much, just so crazy. There are certain minds in the world. We've talked about this before, where there's so much going on in there. I guess you just can't handle it.
150 degrees out there. You can't play baseball. You have to call it for the day.
You gotta listen to him, Penny.
Yeah.
Vote then. Anybody who wants to be a can't hack it panty waist who wears their mama's bra. Raise your hand.
That part's so funny.
Yeah, and I didn't think that's where it was going either.
I know, me either.
Yeah,
I thought I thought the new kid was gonna raise his hand, and everyone's gonna be like,
nobody else. Everybody's just like, I'll be a panty waist.
Out.
Yeah,
I'll wear my mom's bra.
I'll wear my mom's bra.
Pool.
Yeah, to the pool. Fine.
That's how hot it was.
There she is. Lotion. Oily. Lotion.
And one day, it became too much
Oily.
for Michael Squints Polidorus.
I can't take this no more. Move!
And he did the most desperate thing any of us had ever seen.
I knew this was gonna happen.
She is really cute.
And I think here's the thing about the
I didn't find her attractive.
about the narration too that I liked. It was almost like he had written it down as a kid, because I like how he would say the most desperate thing any of us had ever seen, and it got me into the biggest pickle any of us would ever. And that sounds like a kid talking. And
in that time period.
Exactly. And I think that's part of what... By the way, did you know what a pickle was before the movie?
The baseball term pickle?
Yeah.
No, I think that's why he's using it. Because
exactly.
he's
Wait,
referring
what's the
to
baseball term for
So
pickle?
it's when someone is trapped between a base, where you have a
They're
guy...
throwing back and forth?
Oh my gosh, there's so many new terms I need to learn about sports.
Right.
So that Wendy Peppercorn is still acting today.
Is she?
She was on a show that I liked. It was called 11th Hour.
I thought she looked familiar to me.
She was like the FBI bodyguard for this really smart guy, and I'd never seen her before. And I was like, where did she come from? She's gorgeous, and she's gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
No, she's not. I mean
today.
She's not pretty.
And she is very pretty.
Jack, what do you rate
I
her?
went with you on your cute guy. Why don't you?
I'm not gonna stop
A
this.
0 to a 10, 0.
All right, we're a little over halfway through on the podcast. Emma, it's time for you to go to your play date.
It's not a play date, but okay, sleepover, whatever you want to call it.
With the dance peeps.
Yep.
And Casey's nice enough to take you because she's the best
Whoa.
around. Nothing's ever gonna keep you down. She's
She
the
does
best
this all the time.
around. Jack, you can
You'll
hang
get
out with
used
us.
to it eventually.
Yeah,
You'll
can
get
I
used
move
to
to
it.
their microphone?
Yeah, you can move to that microphone.
I swear you'll get used to it sooner or later.
Emma, you want to do another podcast sometime?
Yes.
Thanks for
I
doing
do.
it.
Me
You want to,
too, brah.
would you like to close with your best joke ever?
Okay. What did the Atlantic Ocean say to the Pacific Ocean?
Nothing. It just waved.
Bada bing! You win! Yay, Jack!
She was
Nothing.
working on her
just
own
waved.
stand-up.
Oh yeah, my opening joke for my stand-up at this age would be: are there any kids in the house? Do you get it? Because I'm a kid. Do you get it, Rich?
That is the funniest opening joke of all time.
I know. I just come out and be like, "Woo!" So,
So,
how about that airline food? You know. See, I'm already killing it. I haven't even started yet. This is almost as good as dry.
What
I
if-
mean, it's probably better.
The
I have a
airline
joke.
food is gold.
What if?
those are opening two lines.
What?
Yeah.
What's Superman's favorite part of a crime?
The fly.
The punchline.
Okay.
Get it? Because we're flying a punch.
Got it.
Good. Good stuff.
Okay, bye guys.
Bye.
When
Thanks,
the dog
Emma.
See you
lost
later
its-
in life.
Wait, one more. When the dog lost its tail, where did the tail go? To the retail store.
Get it?
Oh, that's pretty good.
No, that's where did the dog go? Not where did the tail go?
You go get it.
I always say
I know. That's her.
We plan a real diamond, Porter. You ain't good enough to lick the dirt off our cleats. Watch it, jerk. Shut up, idiot. Moron. Scab eater. Butt sniffer. Pus licker. Fart smeller. You eat dog crap for breakfast, geek. You mix your weeds with your mama's toe jam. Yeah! You bob for apples in the toilet, and you like it. You play ball like a girl.
I love it, man. I have a theory about that kid on the bike. I think he auditioned for the role as another kid, but he's too cute. Like he wasn't enough of a mishmash kind of guy, because that kid could act. He was physically hurt by the fact that he was being called, that he played like a girl.
There was such a hush over everything. It's like,
and you could see it on his face. It was
Wait,
real.
Daddy.
It was amazing acting.
I missed that part. Wait, so the attractive guy got called.
They were calling each other names. So like, there's
Who got called that they play ball like a girl?
the more like the rich kid, the good looking kid.
yeah, Jack.
Oh.
You and I don't think guys are attractive. Just your dad thinks guys are attractive. It's fine.
That's true. No, but you know an attractive person when you see one, right? You can tell if a guy is attractive or not, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like Tim when he was 22, he was attractive.
We just saw a friend of the show, Tim Toole. We just saw a picture of him when he was 22 years old, and he was quite an attractive man.
Look at Tim. I got to see it.
He looked way taller than he is.
Well, yeah, I mean, so he's
plenty tall, though, I'm sure.
I'm sure he is, and he's still very attractive.
Yeah, very attractive.
Yeah, but boy,
Especially with his hair combed forward.
he had a good run at 22 for sure.
Hurry up. It's gonna be a short game, and I gotta get home for lunch. That's one. You know, if my dog was as ugly as you, I'd shave his butt and tell him to walk backwards. The heater. Here it comes. I dare you. Strike three, you're up. Hey, is that your sister out there in left field? Naked? She's naked? Shut up, Porter! Hey, I'm just trying to have a little friendly conversation.
This is my favorite scene.
I know, and I wonder if any of it was ad-libbed at all.
I mean, it was
Hey,
awesome.
Rich.
Yeah.
Is that your sister over there on third base naked?
But I like the chatter stuff, and I thought it was really funny. It's because we didn't really get to do that kind of thing back when I was in Little League. Like they would shut you up, but you know, these kids don't have an umpire; they're just out there playing the game.
Right.
Ah, crap! I almost forgot! Wait!
So Emma timed this perfectly to avoid this
Yeah, so that we wouldn't. Now, so I will tell you a little something about her. And she literally, like, the phobia is insane. I mean, if someone just has an upset stomach, she doesn't want anything to do with you. She's like, and she's a very thoughtful little girl.
She'd be a great mom.
But she's like, she is just like, yeah, I'm sorry you don't feel good, but I'm gonna go away from you.
Everett, what's up, buddy? What are you doing?
Did you take a nap?
Did you sleep good?
I just sleep
Good job, buddy. It is your blankie.
All right, so nap time's over. That's a thing.
That's why you call this the daycare.
The daycare, exactly. It makes sense, right?
Right.
Yeah, it's kind of one of those things. But I wouldn't trade it for anything.
So did you chew tobacco ever?
No, I told you this before, but I tried dip once, and I didn't at all understand what was going to happen. And
so you had the same reaction as these kids, probably.
Man, but it was almost instant. It felt like it.
Can you hear me?
Okay, you got to be
Awesome.
quiet. Okay, just listen. It was almost instant. Like
because that stuff just spreads out everywhere.
Just started. My head started spinning, and then I got woozy, and then I vomited.
You swallowed it. I'm sure.
I didn't swallow it. I mean,
How can you not? Skull for the first time?
You spit. Yeah, it was Copenhagen, I believe.
Oof.
But,
Oh my God, dude.
But yeah, man, I tell you though, my experience with it more than anything is Chris Burney. Chris Burney has dipped for most of our career as a band. and I can't tell you how many times
Wait, Daddy.
I've taken a drink of his spit cup.
Oh.
It's happened a lot, and it's the worst thing you could
that
ever
is the
imagine.
worst.
Absolutely ever.
Dad,
Yes, buddy.
What is dip?
It's like chewing tobacco.
It's like taking a cigarette and taking all the stuff out of it and just shoving it in your mouth.
Yes, remember, we've got to be quiet, okay?
Gross. It's nasty.
And you took a sip of his spit cup?
Yes.
Where you spit it all out.
Multiple times.
Oh my god.
Not at once, though.
It's the worst thing ever. I thought it was really funny, though, how this kid remembers that he has it, and all of a sudden he's like a completely different character. Like he's just so like over the top, like, wait, I forgot. And it just like, wait, that's not even who you are in this. What's happening? That's completely different.
Yeah.
Bitch.
Nah, it ain't.
Come on, Benny, man. Maybe 2 or 3 guys in history ever busted the guts out of a ball. Must be an omen.
All it means is that we can't play no more. I mean, it's only 12 o'clock, and I just ruined the whole day for us.
Yeah, I do that every time I hit a ball.
Bust the guts out of it.
Oh, yeah, all the time.
Sure you do.
Yes.
Hello.
You did it.
Say, Jaret goes to the movies. Say it in the mic. Say, Jaret goes to the movies.
Say it right here. Say it right here.
He's like, who's Mike?
Let's go to the movie.
All right, anything to say about the... Okay, Jack, we got to focus a little bit. Okay? All right.
Hello.
Okay, it's just chaos now.
What do you mean that wasn't your ball? It was my stepdad's. I stole it from his trophy room. It was a present or something. Somebody gave it to him. But we gotta get it back. He's gonna kill me. Listen to me, Smalls. It's the matter of life and death. Where did your old man get that ball? What? I don't know. Some lady gave it to him. Why? What? Lady? Yeah, she even signed her name on it. Some lady named Ruth. Baby Ruth. Babe Ruth!
How did he not know who Babe Ruth was?
Well, and that's the thing, is you would think through the conversations of the Great Bambino it would have come up again, you know? I mean, they had already discussed
I can understand
this.
him not knowing all of the 1,000 nicknames that Babe Ruth has, but I mean, that was in the zeitgeist of pop culture at that time. Everyone knew who Babe Ruth was.
Also, if any kid who starts getting into anything,
Right. He knew that there were 9 players on the field. How did he know that?
Exactly. And so, and once baseball becomes a passion of his for this summer or whatever, he would have been living and breathing it, because that's what little kids do.
Writing things down, things to remember
Exactly.
about baseball.
Yeah. So that one was a little bit of a writing situation
why
where
did
they
he go
had to
straight
explain
home
it.
and ask his stepdad, who's the Bambino?
Here's the thing that I thought about. There's obviously another baseball at the house. He
Right.
played catch with his stepdad.
Oh, yeah.
Why not go get that one?
No crap.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
somewhere. He
It's
knows where it
somewhere.
is. They played catch with the thing.
Well, you saw this coming a mile away.
Right. Of course, sure. There was
yeah.
a whole big deal made about it, and, you know, there was tons and tons of that. And, you know, again, it makes for a fantastic story.
Sure.
And who knows, if they would have hit the other one over the fence, he may have gone back and gotten it anyway.
Sure.
But, you know, you needed the Babe Ruth signed baseball and all of the Babe Ruth examples, and
Maybe they did use the other one. They just skipped over that part of the
Maybe,
story,
sure.
like the E.T. pooping.
yeah, could be. Yeah, right. You know, because he just drags himself right through
I
it.
like how
Disgusting.
How when he brings a dog back, I know it has nothing to do with the scene, but how he brings the dog back, and the main kid's like, I'm gonna die, and the blind man's like, yeah, right where you stand, and then he just like, I don't like how he just like leaves that blank, like there's nothing to do with that after that.
Oh, I see what you're saying. He
He's ahead of
says
us,
to
yeah.
him, he goes, you're more than in trouble, whatever. But the way that he resolves it is he tells him, he goes and he gets him the other ball that's signed by everyone, and he says, you need this more than I do. So that was really cool how that...
Yeah, but then why did he say you're gonna die right where you stand?
It was figurative. He didn't really mean that he was going to
I know,
die.
but then he just like did nothing about that saying. Like, why did he even? It felt like he just like said that to say it.
You're the babe.
They were.
The Sultan of SWAT. The King of Crash.
Crash and 100 other dopey names. Forget about that stuff, kid. We ain't got much time. I'm here because you're in some kind of a pickle, right?
Yeah.
A baseball with my John Hancock on it went over a fence and you can't get it back, right?
Yeah, right.
Then just hop over there and get it.
I know that dude from something, but he plays a great Babe Ruth.
Yeah, so he's a character actor that's in tons and tons of stuff. But I recognized him right away too. But you're right, he does. He plays a great Babe. God, he's been in a lot of movies.
Ton of movies.
Just crazy the amount. And he was he played a character on Home Improvement. And that might be where I
kind of like
saw him
how
before.
they made him like gray and black, and then somehow he like came to life.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, he kind of starts out as a black and white TV image, and that they were both having a dream that night about the babe. I wonder who the kids look up to this day and age as far as baseball is concerned. Because I mean, other sports are pretty easy to
Oh yeah, Dad. Speaking of Babe Ruth, at school I did this Babe Ruth quote. He said, "You just can't beat the person who never gives up."
There you go. See, that's good. He had a lot of good quotes, and he also, and I to this day still I don't think I've ever had one. Apparently, he makes a hell of a candy bar.
Oh yeah, they're delicious, but I don't think they're actually made by him.
Oh, you don't think so?
That's the
No.
lady, Baby Ruth.
Okay, I got it. But seriously, like in basketball, you have Michael Jordan, LeBron James, Kobe Bryant.
Jack, who's your favorite athlete?
Le'Veon Bell.
Le'Veon Bell, the running
yeah,
back
Le'Veon Bell.
for the Pittsburgh Steelers. He likes it. But you also like Antonio Brown, right? Wide receiver.
Yeah, I just don't like his hair. It's like a little like dip.
Well, it's like a mohawky type thing.
In your age, who were your favorites?
In my age, the baseball player, everybody loved Pete Rose.
Joe Montana?
Yeah. Okay, but remember we had so many insane sports dynasties back then. So you had the 83 Bears, I believe it was, where Walter Payton and then you had the larger in life Cowboys with Ed Too Tall Jones and Tony Dorsett and those guys, and then there were a lot of heroes back then, a lot. And I'm sure there are today. I just don't know that I really keep up with it as much. I really meant just baseball. Now, I mean, I don't know. Is it?
I only knew the Braves because my dad was a Braves fan.
Sure. It's probably Alex Rodriguez and Jeter and
Jeter,
those guys.
probably, yeah. And the guy with the long hair. What was his name? From Boston to.
Oh, right.
Was it Joe?
And then he cut his hair off. Whatever. I should know this, but yeah, you're right. The guy with the 5 o'clock with the 5 o'clock shadow all the time.
Right.
Hello?
This is bad. We brought your dog home.
Hercules? How'd he get out?
I'm telling you.
Well, what happened was we hit a baseball into your yard. We tried to get it back.
So you're the ones that making all that racket.
Did you guys have houses in your neighborhood or anywhere that you lived where you were scared of the people there?
It was usually just neighbors.
Yeah. That's what I mean. I mean, because we definitely had the ones where we wouldn't go up to the door, and if a football or a baseball went over,
it was just gone.
No, I mean we would do missions. We definitely did missions.
Okay.
This, I mean, I do think this movie is probably based upon real life for this guy.
Yeah.
Because we had covert missions all the time, and it's almost like what we talked about the other day. Do you remember we were talking about shortcuts and how you knew which backyards to go through and all of that? It's the same kind of thing. You also knew in certain backyards if you got caught, the person was going to scare you to death, and act like they were going to do something that they weren't. But, my dad was the scariest one in the neighborhood. So I didn't really worry about that too much just because if someone yelled at me or something, he just didn't want to be bothered with it. So once he was bothered with it, he wasn't going to be mad at me.
He was going to be mad at the botherer.
You in trouble, aren't you, son?
Yeah, well, that was my stepdad's ball. I took it without asking. It was signed by Babe Ruth.
George signed this?
George Herman Ruth? Yeah.
I take it back. You're not in trouble. You're dead where you stand.
Yeah, so that's the scene you were talking about. You're dead where you stand. He's basically telling him,
you're in big trouble.
You're in big trouble. You know what I didn't say, and I do sometimes call out bad acting, and I don't think I call out good acting as much as I should. I actually think Scotty Smalls is a great kid actor.
It was solid.
There's really not a lot of scenes where he makes you uncomfortable.
When he's doing the whole Dad Bill thing?
Yeah.
I totally bought that.
Yeah, exactly. And I thought anytime he was communicating with adults...
I mean, Bill? And he just slipped that in before
I mean,
finished.
Dad. And then you notice he reverses it later.
Yeah,
he's like,
he
Bill, I mean, Dad. And he's gone on to do a lot of stuff, too. He's done a bunch of TV and film, and so good for that guy. He was in a TV series called The Black Donnellys, I guess. as for a while.
Oh, he was in. Oh, really? I watched that show. It was a
He
good
played
show. Olivia Wilde. That was her first show.
Okay, he played Thomas, if you know who that is.
I don't remember. It's been
but
a while.
up until then, a bunch of TV movies and things like that. But anyway, I thought he did a really, really great job as far as just being a kid actor.
Dad.
Yeah.
When that scene came on, I was like, "Wow, Darth Vader!" But then I remembered, oh yeah, that guy plays Darth Vader.
Yeah. I said to the kids, I go, "This is the guy that plays Darth Vader," and Jack goes, "No." Oh, just right when he opens his mouth, is this like, he was in Black Hawk Down, that was another big movie.
Darth Vader was in Black Hawk Down?
No, the kid that played Scotty Smalls.
I have not watched that movie.
I don't think we could take this ball.
I'll tell you what. You guys come by here once a week and talk baseball with me. We'll call it an even trade.
Now, did you have any, and I realize how this is going to come out, and so I'll just say this. So we had these old people across the street. Bill Marion lived directly across the street from me. He was about 2 years older. And then right next to him was a house. We lived in just a normal neighborhood, houses built in the 60s kind of thing. 1-2-story house in the whole neighborhood. And they were called the Griffiths. So Mr. and Mrs. Griffith. And he got the nickname as being the Candy Man. But I always referred to them by their Mr. and Mrs. names. Anyway, you would go over and knock on the door once a day, and they had a jar of candy.
Oh, my God.
And you get to pick a piece of candy every single day.
Can you imagine that?
That's what I'm saying, because what I started to say is I don't want anybody to make this weird because it was a sweet story, but you can't do that this day and age.
Yeah.
But some days, we would go in. Right. And, we would sit down and she would have baked cookies or something. And literally, that's all it was. We would go over there, we would get the candy or eat the cookies, and we would leave.
Right.
But to them, they were retired and they're at home all day. And, all these children are just coming, and that was it.
Spreading cheer.
So, kids would come from, 2 streets over. And granted, my little unit we were kind of the ones that went every single day.
Right.
And it was a thing where sometimes my mom would remind me, have you been over there lately? They really like, when you go over,
right.
So really cool, and so I could see there being an old blind dude in the 60s who,
because they would be dubbed as the serial killer child,
now, but back then, no.
Right,
you were actually okay to go over and visit an old man and do that, know?
The Jets got a suicide lead, and there he goes! He's stealing home! They don't see him! I don't believe it! He's stealing home! He's stealing home and they don't see him! I don't believe it! They don't see him! The pitch!
The Jet, a nickname that stuck. They did it.
Right. Is this a true story?
I don't think so.
I don't think so
it
either.
doesn't.
I guess they just made their own little LA Dodger history kind of thing.
You can do
had
that.
To go I was all looking it up now. I was like, oh, this is a true story based on a real thing, because it looked
Movies
like real
do that
footage.
all the time, though. In Heaven Can Wait, Warren Beatty is an actual Los Angeles Ram.
I never once thought he was an actual Los Angeles Ram.
Not once. You never believed
that
it?
movie.
You never believed it?
Heaven Can Wait, and a terrible remake.
Do you remember Jerry Maguire didn't, what's-his-face, play for the Cardinals?
I never once thought that was real footage.
Well, you didn't think this was real footage?
Yeah, no, I thought this might be real footage.
No,
yeah, because they made it look real.
They made the stuff on those other movies look real too.
No,
yes.
No.
Stop it.
No.
Don't
tell me to stop it.
You're insane.
No, I thought it was real footage.
You did not.
You cannot feel like it's real footage. I felt like it was real footage.
You did not think it was real footage with him sitting up in the press box?
To have my own opinion.
So he's the guy, and he's the actual announcer. He sounds terrible.
No, I thought the announcer was fake, but I thought the footage was real.
It's a real player all of a sudden?
Yeah. No, not all of a sudden. I thought they were telling this story.
Yeah.
And at the end of the story was this kid it was a true story based on a true story, and that this kid actually went to go play baseball, and then they were showing the real footage and then fitting everything up. JFK died. You realize that. So when they put JFK's death in real movies, that actually did happen also.
What?
JFK died. He got shot.
Yeah, and they put the real thing in there.
They put the real JFK footage.
This is obviously not that, though. It's the same color correction, everything. It's the same.
I thought it looked authentic.
It bleeds right in. Good Lord. You even said it before. They prompt with the thumbs up thing at the first of the movie, and then everybody's thumbs upping.
Thumbs up.
They're thumbs upping all over the place.
I really thought it was.
You know what's fun is I
thumbs
thumbs up with Jack during his sporting events.
And does he thumbs up back to you?
He does.
Not even
he does.
Okay.
Well, all in all, I mean, I think this movie still is a great watch.
Definitely.
I think it's a awesome family movie.
Definitely.
Even if you're not into baseball, to be honest, I didn't even know it was a baseball movie whenever. Yeah, so a fantastic movie about growing up. Just I like movies that take place in a short period of time and where everybody learns something, gains some relationships. I thought at the end where he says, they all kind of started moving away one at a time, because that happens. Then, you do drift apart, and then all of a sudden you're all into other stuff. And I'm sure that Benny basically just got baseball crazy and wasn't around anymore. But all in all, I like the fact that you like it too, Rich. I think anytime we can both agree that a movie is good, that's awesome.
Yeah, and boring.
And Jack, yeah, exactly. And Jack sat and watched the whole thing. He just only climbed all over me for about the last 30 minutes. So
I need him in the balls.
You didn't need me in the balls. You elbowed me in the rib cage, but it was all your weight falling down off the couch. Yeah. But I'll take that over a knee to the balls anytime. Thanks, guys, for listening. If you're digging what you're hearing, by all means, keep listening. And you can support us month to month and get all kinds of extra goodies by going to JaretGoesToTheMovies.com and click support. And that will take you to our Patreon site where you get all kinds of exciting things. A few of our supporters have pledged to have their names in the credits each week, and we are just now getting around to figuring that all out.
Sorry.
And it's not that we don't appreciate it more than you will ever know. It's just we are still trying to organize ourselves and get this thing running like a really great engine. So special thanks to Dave Murray and Ashley C., our fantastic Patreon supporters who have been with us since the start, really.
And
amazing.
A new one is Sheila Ray Wonder.
Love it. And so thank you guys for that. We do Google Hangouts with our Patreon supporters. We do... there's a thing where you can be included in a podcast. You can pick a movie for a podcast, all of that kind of good stuff. So if you want to stay in touch with me, you can go to JARET2113 on Instagram or Twitter, or you can find my artist page on Facebook.
You can check us out at facebook.com/Jaret Goes to the Movies. And at Twitter, we are Jaret Movies.
And we're trying to be as interactive as we can on those things. Rich is really good about answering on our Facebook page as well. So if you have some questions, some input, that's one thing we should ask for. I mean, input would be great. If you're digging the podcasts, let us know what you're loving, if there's something that you don't like. I mean, I'm probably not going to listen or care. But I mean, you might as well just put it out there, and just.
I'll listen. I'll care. Anything positive or neutral or not ultra negative, put it on the main comments on Facebook. Let everybody chime in and be included in that. Don't message us directly, because that's no fun. If there is something you just hate and you think we need to know about it that we just don't understand, then you can message me directly. Otherwise, all the comments, throw it on the Facebook page or the Twitter. Make it public. Let everybody chime in. It doesn't need to be private.
Rich, it's been a fun one. We want to thank Casey, Jack, and Emma for doing our first family-friendly podcast with us. As always, Rich, you're awesome. Thanks for being here.
No, you're awesome.
I love you. And I know you had to cut Sunday brunch short to be here, and that means a lot to me. And
well, the lunch club showed up, so I had to get the
I appreciate everything you do, for reals. My name is Jaret, and we'll see you guys down the road.
Later.